Ippo's latest opponent is not human. Sawamura is the name, and apparently murder is the game. I mean, this man's name has Kamigawa shitting himself. As Ippo watches the tape to understand just what his opponent is, and well, he's the only one who beat Shimura before Ippo. The same guy Ippo went to war with, except Sawamura doesn't have a scratch on him. In fact, he was playing with his food like a menace. Ippo tries glazing Miyata's beautiful counters, but no one cares, because Sawamura's counters are driven by pure violence, and the one tape where he gets hit, an accidental elbow with the opponent apologizing. So Sawamura thanks him by smashing an elbow into his face, probably killing him because wow. Brother's only losses are disqualification. Meanwhile, Sawamura is beating the living hell out of some guys just because. Pouring his entire fist into a man's mouth, that is disrespectful. How are you gonna do that? And I'm sorry, but this man's shadow is straight satanic. If you saw that reflecting in the middle of the night, I'd shit my pants. I would physically pass away if I saw this. You would literally run away because this man is straight psychotic. This is Ippo's opponent. This man is better suited for a psych ward. Never mind the professional boxing ring, licking blood off his hand and all. Like, Jesus Christ, he's a menace. Kamigawa, you cannot let Ippo get in the ring with this man. And even when he knows he has a title shot, the man starts stabbing his steak with a fork, talking about how he loves beating people lifelessly, but his teacher in pure fear.
Hey yo, what the fuck?
So apparently Sawamura is a straight monster. All the while, Vorgas came back from Russia, which is great because it allows Ippo to train for the Dempsey counter, so to speak. And when they spar, this is full contact, both men going for the kill instantly. This could be a title fight if Sawamura wasn't in the picture. The Dempsey roll is prepared, slamming against that guard in the pendulum motion, but then the counter is showcased. Vorg leaping backwards, Ippo in full sight and delivering a monster of a counter, knocking Ippo unconscious, leaving him a dead body on the mat. He looks like he's actually died. Leaving a nice scene with Ippo's mother. I learned Russian, by the way. Vorg's also handsome. Just thought you should know. And it also turns out that Vorg's counter was mercy. He held that punch back. Sawamura tortures his opponent and is a demon. He'll throw that counter with the full intention of decapitation. He won't hold back as Ippo trains to try and save himself from his demise before discovering the apparent counter, something that if performed will basically tear your muscles off your entire skeleton, which is like Shimabukuro's CTE strategy. And it's time. Ippo in the locker room. Apparently the animators forgot Ippo has two arms because he's missing one right now actually, with Umezawa giving Ippo some Russian words. Meanwhile, Sawamura looks like he's sleeping like a log. Imagining when he stabbed his father, people talking about him like he's a monster, and his very eerie meat fetish that made his mother shiver in her timbers. But more importantly, when he was abandoned in that institution. Yeah, it's no surprise he became a monster, to be honest with you. As we head into that ring, Sawamura already on the prowl with that horrifying stare. The bell rings as it begins. Aha. Ippo charging in, but Sawamura runs right past him. What in the hell? And just starts sizing him up. This man is horrifying. I'd straight up leave if I saw this. But Ippo won't take that disrespect, throwing a right and turning the man around before smashing into that guard and spamming at him. But then Sawamura trips him up, playing dirty. And then he tries to smack Ippo while he's on his ass. He's on psycho timing. Rules are meant to be broken, guys. Not even giving a shit about the referee, but more importantly, the crowd. Bro has his hands on his ears as Ippo charges back in, blowing that guard back and slipping a counter, and then another one, slamming a left into that liver. Had Sawamura questioning life, and then a body blow. Had this man levitating in the air. That's actually crazy. With a miss right as our round ends, Ippo confident. Look at that face. That's a man who knows you're cooked. Sawamura, on the other hand, he doesn't care. Our second round beginning as the man offers his fist, but the second Ippo goes to do a respect moment in sport, as Sawamura fires a jab, barely missing. But despite how dirty Sawamura is playing, he's not a joke. If Sendo respects you, you're probably a beast. Ippo lunging in with a blocked combo, furious and fueled by hatred, giving a body blow, barely avoiding a punch. Sawamura preparing a counter just to eat a massive right, sending him down towards the mat. And as he gets up, he tries to do the nonchalant gimmick, but his legs are shaking. Brother thought he could act like he wasn't hurt. But while Ippo is wailing on him, Sawamura grabs him as they fall down to the mat, pulling on his wrapping to delay the fight because Ippo has him on the back foot. You've got to admit that Sawamura is a master at pissing people off. Ippo hasn't fought an opponent like this since like Mashiba, but now Sawamura isn't playing around. The man's got an entire new stance, pausing Ippo. The aura is off the charts. This is his real stance, which means he respects Ippo. But respect is a word, and getting respect from a demon doesn't mean much. Ippo barely avoiding a left and then eating one against his guard, leaving him bleeding. I mean, for God's sake, they compared this punch to a gun. I'm pretty sure he's legally classed as a war criminal from what we've seen in the ring. Ippo starting to face off against the board with that classic Ippo weaving before he eats one. The vibe of the fight is shifted. Meanwhile, Mashiba wants Ippo to break this man's entire face. Round ending with Sawamura doing a demon face, as apparently Ippo has fell right into his trap, and even Miyata knows that Sawamura is probably better. I mean, you are a fraud, Miyata. As round 3 begins, just a hailstorm of bullets being cast down on Ippo. He can't even touch the man. The speed is crazy. Ippo slowly trudging forward, and then Ippo eats a right, launching that mouth guard into the near stratosphere. They called his right the Thunderbolt. What a cold nickname. Ippo falling like a body until he barely stays up with that Kamigawa planting. But his entire body is in a factory reset, facing the storms of bullets head on, practically eating them with a missed swing, going for another just to eat another right. And oh my god, look at that face. Sawamura's kinda hot, by the way, I just thought you should know. Kamigawa giving some words of wisdom, while Sawamura is talking like a predator, for crying out loud.
What?
Round 4 starting with the funniest weaving I've ever seen. That left is suddenly thrown as he starts spamming them, Ippo managing to slip in with a dodged uppercut and then a liver blow. Ippo's punches blow your back out, and they eat even back shots. The second liver blow blocked, but Ippo continues his steamroll, feinting and smashing another body blow, and then a missed uppercut. And you probably guessed it, another liver blow. The man's doing the all-low technique, and it's cooking him. Sawamura releasing a flurry of left jabs, Ippo still weaving out the way, punching at that guard, while Miyata talks about the anti-Ippo strategy. Takamura concerned about what Sawamura looks like behind his tight guard. Ippo is slamming at that guard, but it's not working. I mean, he could do that for hours. And there is a sense of dread in the air as Ippo revs the Dempsey roll engine to life, throwing left, right as Sawamura jumps back, Ippo in mid-swing, eating a left. An explosion in the ring, and oh my literal lord, look at that face. Brother is looking in both directions as he goes on a gentle stroll. There is no life behind those eyes. Ippo looks cooked out there. I also realized that Ippo tried to stop, so foreshadowing by the way, as Sawamura approaches him and starts observing him like a meal. This man is not human. Ippo throwing the lightest punch ever, and I kid you not, Sawamura starts feeling this man up.
Oh, great heavens!
But Ippo is driven. He cannot lose to a psycho disguised as a human. Look at that spiritual pressure, for God's sake. Sawamura is still talking like a criminal on the stool. I mean, he is scary. But you know what's scarier? Not subscribing, please do. Round 5 beginning as Sawamura hits a disrespectful counter. I mean, that was crazy. Breaking that body like the pervert he is. Imagining the muscles as he slowly starts breaking Ippo down with another body blow. As Ippo tries to fight back, barely avoiding a counter. But he is getting obliterated out there. This deviant is beating him lifelessly. Ippo isn't even guarding these punches, for God's sake, as our round ends. And I'm sorry, but what happened to Shame? Where is the tower, Kamigawa? You had your boy drowning. Round 6 beginning as Ippo tries to fight, but it's the same story. Sawamura is cooking this man as Ippo starts the Dempsey roll. Sawamura leaping backwards, preparing his right. And if that hits, Ippo could die. Kamigawa screaming as Ippo takes the right. An absolute geyser of blood erupting in the ring. But by some miracle, Ippo stays up. One of the hardest manga panels, by the way. And no one can believe this. Ippo driven by everyone who has assisted him for this fight, going on his assault even though he's half dead, eating an elbow to the spine. Sawamura is not human. The man doesn't even give one. He's literally Satan himself. Ippo getting wailed on, but Kamigawa won't throw in that towel because Ippo has a reason for staying alive, going for the final Dempsey roll with the greatest music drop in anime history.
Lord have mercy.
Everyone on their feet as Sawamura prepares to decapitate him, but suddenly Ippo plants that foot down. Sawamura's punch missing as Ippo breaks that face with a right, sending the man nearly lifelessly onto the map, trying to get those extra swings in as the ref begins the count. Meanwhile, Ippo's muscles are feeling agony from stopping such a powerful move. I think if I tried something like that, my entire body would shut down and I'd have a stroke. And you've got my guy Miyata talking about how this is exactly what he wanted to see. Like, what the hell are you talking about? Randy Wood Jr. owned your ass, don't piss me off, bro. Sawamura clinging onto the ref as he rises somehow. And he has guts, to be fair, as Ippo slowly throws punches at that guard before landing one. Sawamura literally quivering behind the ref because he is in shock at what is going on as our round ends. Sawamura rethinking his life choices at this present moment. Don't piss Ippo off, guys. Words of wisdom. I'm gonna be honest, guys, Sawamura is not a good guy, but I do love him. The man's driven by hatred, like myself, actually. The round beginning with Kamigawa on edge. Sawamura spamming his lefts before eating a body blow combo, landing him against the rope as Ippo starts demolishing him, but Sawamura reaches his foot out. But Ippo has adapted to that, throwing a right, but Sawamura somehow survives doing a horrific face. I mean, if I saw that, I'd cry. Smashing a left as the pair start brawling, Ippo going for his last Dempsey roll, the grandest of finales. Everyone on their feet. Look at the concentration in Sawamura's eyes. Ippo stopping as Sawamura pauses too. Ippo restarting, ducking entirely down and going back up with Sawamura still ready. And then he stops again, making Sawamura question his life.
What the fuck?
3 stops in a row, brother's muscles are literal jello. A left launching that jaw into the sky, a right making his face explode, and as a wise man would say, good night, sweet prince. As Ippo swings left, right, not giving the man a moment of breath. The most brutal Dempsey roll period, with one final left, Sawamura falling down like a lifeless corpse. As the ref instantly calls the fight, Sawamura is dead, guys, at the end. Ippo celebrating possibly his best and hardest fight, not gonna lie, I mean, he needed a miracle. How did Ippo not get knocked down in this fight? The entire crowd giving praise to Sawamura got me emotional because I love that guy, even if he is a level 100 Hawk type menace. Sendo going to check on his boy because they are kind of friends, and the amount of injuries Sawamura has is crazy. All the while Sendo is talking about how Ippo's fists lift your spirits. I'm sorry, but the guy's had nearly every bone in his body broken, and this man's talking about his attraction to Ippo. His bones are literally made out of glue and you're talking about love. No, die. Our episode and video ending of Sawamura looking at the moon, exactly like his childhood. Crazy how a character with zero mental stability has a very tragic backstory. This is the best fight in the anime for me. So please subscribe and I'll catch you next time.